Hello there, welcome to Insomniac Live. It's Friday. Hopefully you're seeing us. We're experiencing some internet speed issues, and so hopefully this is watchable. And if we're trying to figure it out, and if not, well, sorry. My name's James Stevenson, Community Director here at Insomniac Games, here with Noah Alzires, one of our character TDs. What does that mean? What is a character TD? We've explained it before, but for those just watching now.
Even people who I work with sometimes don't know. It's essentially the step between when a character is created by a character artist and the animation.
Hello there, welcome to Insomniac Live. It's Friday.
Yeah, so it's a
hopefully
model
you're seeing us. We're experiencing some internet speed issues, and so hopefully this is watchable.
Then, when animators
we're trying to figure it out, and if
they
not,
doing,
sorry. My name's James Stevenson, Community Director here at
Insomniac
Insomniac Games, here with Noah Alzires, one of our character TDs.
Character team, and then the animators. You're like in the middle of all the
What does
character
that mean?
animation.
What's a character
Yep.
TD?
We're
We've
never-
explained it before, but
Cool.
for those just watching now. Oh,
Even
Remaster
people
says
who
who's
I
that
work
guy in the
with
chair? It's like the guy
sometimes
who
don't
used to
know.
host
It's,
all the streams. Yeah, well, things are a little busy around here. We do have E3 coming up a week from Monday, that PlayStation Showcase. We can't talk about that, but it's coming up. And Corey's here. He's on the computer right now trying to figure out what's going on. And then he's going to be headed to back to work on E3 related stuff. But we are going to try and play some Detroit Become Human, which came out last week from Quantic Dream. And we had a demo stream where we streamed the demo a bunch. We saw that opening hostage sequence. And now we are going into the second chapter of the game right after that opening sequence. So here we are. And we're obviously an Android in a shop. I think this is like
no, you're an Android.
this is like one of the creepier things to me, to be like a product in Best Buy waiting to be bought.
Yeah.
Like this kind of creeped me out more than like there's obviously like the underpinnings of this game are a lot about like androids being slaves and that sort of thing. And this sequence in particular kind of was really weird to me, to like just be standing in a store looking around at other people standing in a store waiting to get bought.
Are the salesmen androids too then?
I don't know. Is that
like two of
perverse? Oh, it is. Oh, they have to be then. Yeah, they must be
Either
androids.
that or.
Oh, you can see this guy's got the
little.
little circle on his. The guy's got the little circle on his thing. So it's androids selling androids.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, I know that guy.
Although obviously this guy is the human that works here.
Yeah.
Oh, apparently it's Tom Holland's birthday today.
Okay.
It's also
Happy
National
birthday.
Donut Day. There was donuts this morning here at Insomniac.
Yeah, I feel like there was National Donut Day like a month ago too.
I think that
I'm not gonna complain about.
I think that was International Donut Day.
Oh, okay. All right, cool.
We should try to see if we can trick HR by adding a ton of donut holidays.
Yeah.
And see, because if there's a donut holiday, maybe we'll get more.
Yep.
So there were donuts this morning. It's also in the summer on Fridays. We have lunch catered every Friday.
Got my burger.
But in the summer we get food trucks.
Yep.
So the first food truck was this Friday.
There's an upload going on. So
Is there any ETA?
probably.
All right. Well, we'll see how it goes. Cool.
By the way, which camera am I looking at?
We're not down in the corner, and we're probably on camera too.
Okay. Yeah, because they're like right beside each other.
Yeah, they're both targeting you.
Yeah. I feel like I'm gonna do like the '80s portrait thing where you kind of look slightly off to the side.
Yeah. So, game set in Detroit, obviously. I'll be, in my head, I'll be honest with you, I didn't really like comprehend that the game was actually set in Detroit. Like in my mind, it's just like Detroit's just the name. It became like Halo to me or something,
Yeah.
where it's like the name doesn't really. Halo doesn't mean a Halo.
Yeah.
Detroit doesn't necessarily mean Detroit.
Yeah.
It's like, well, obviously,
You
like
just-
Detroit.
You say it so often,
Right,
You don't
like-
even think about the meaning.
It's like the game started as like, oh, of course it's Detroit in Michigan, and of course the auto industry has now turned into the Android industry. Like, it all makes sense.
Now it looks like Detroit.
Yeah, now it looks like Detroit. We're just like, oh wait, like, I just don't think about Detroit as a city very often.
See, I've never actually been to Detroit. But
Neither have I. I've been to the airport. That's all that
I'm
counts.
from Ohio, so I've been to Cleveland. It's Ohio's.
So you're from Ohio, and you've never been to Michigan. Have you been to Michigan?
I've driven through Michigan, but I've never had any reason to go Detroit. I'm
I
from
love
like
how-
Southern Ohio.
I love how Ohio and Michigan hate each other. It's my favorite.
It's it's just
It's like
it's like anything else where they're like exactly the same, but it's like like America and Canada basically. Yeah. So,
the lag is not just you. We apparently have some issues here at the studio with the internet speed, and hopefully they will resolve.
we're just moving in a very slow and jerky fashion.
Yeah, I don't. Hopefully it's watchable. Fergie, I don't know the answer to that question. I know Tim was working on it. He'll let you know next week on the St. Jude thing. So now we get to play Grey's Anatomy. I just know this guy was on Grey's Anatomy for a long time. There's some other actors in this show. Minka Kelly shows on Friday Night Lights. She's plays a pretty major character. And then there's another guy who's a character actor who we might meet.
It's like the chief guy, right?
He's the detective,
Okay.
yeah. And he's awesome. He's absolutely my favorite character in the game. He's like plays this depressed, drunk, like police lieutenant, or depressed alcoholic police lieutenant, and he's just absolutely terrific. This is one of my favorite little moments. She just throws her trash on the ground next to the android.
Yeah.
Like, and it's all scripted, so you see it happen, but I just love it.
Yeah.
I think that's such a great,
It's
like...
little environmental character moments.
Oh, yeah, it's great. It's just like, oh, yeah, in this world... It just tells you what's so instantly different about this world. You just, like, see an android nearby, and you just chuck your trash at the cleaning android, and you're like, whatever, it's fine.
Mm-hmm. It's cool seeing different body types, too, actually.
Yeah, they do a really nice job. There's kind of a character later on who's probably more like this body type, and seeing that's pretty cool. Like, that's always a challenge because I imagine it's a big rigging challenge to do different body types. Like, it's a completely different setup then.
Yeah, it's sometimes you can share skeletons and stuff, but then with more like obese characters, then you start to run into problems actually getting them to deform properly. So it's like you kind of pick your battles with that one. Because we have to share animations. And,
Here's your order number 847. That will be $63.99. Please confirm payment.
Pay with your head. Oh. I love how the androids... My favorite weird little things is that they all have like a little hard drive light in their head.
Yeah.
It's like, that's how you know your android's working, is the hard drive light still blinking.
Yeah. It's does it? I guess like it blinks different colors according to their emotions. It's like a little mood ring on their head.
Yeah. My android is working or not working.
Yeah.
This I didn't use a lot after the beginning of the game. You can always switch the camera angle with R1. Which is kind of cool.
So it just does front to back camera? Or?
It depends on the scenario.
Okay.
Like, basically it's like the camera... I think it might even be on the same camera path, just one's behind looking one direction, one's ahead looking back in a lot of cases, but then there's some where there might be like steps or stuff that, like one's at the bottom of the stairs, one's at the top of the stairs, so it's like a side view of someone going upstairs, and then one at the top of the stairs looking down.
Okay. So is it like... is it kind of on a rail, or
Yeah, they can. I mean, like it follows. It is sort of adjust. So if I can walk wherever I want. Like, there's this group of protesters, and I think I could avoid. I'm not sure if I can avoid them or not.
The protesters will remember that.
Did it say that?
No.
Oh.
It's the old Walking Dead days. I don't know. Do they ever actually visually note when you make more choices?
Yeah. So I think I could get around them, because if I do walk into them, it's going to cause this scene to happen.
Yeah.
And I think you could just avoid them entirely.
Okay, so they're anti-android, but more antagonistically anti-android.
Yeah, there's a lot of people who believe androids are stealing jobs.
Yeah.
Remaster says, I have a lot of thoughts about this game. Well, I hope you're going to share them with you. Detroit become game composer. Which character is the best? Again, my favorite out of everyone was Hank. When I played the whole game, I did finish the whole game last week. So, but I do like. It was crazy. We were talking about this a little before we started. Like, I played the game kind of towards the best ending. Essentially, did it right. There's definitely like ideas the game wants you to follow, and you could play it differently. Like reading like some of the other sequences and scenes and stuff that can happen and how it plays out if that happens, it's just mind blowing to know all the work of like if a certain character dies or leaves, then a different character takes their place in all of these scenes, and it's just like there's so many different ways so many of these scenes could play out. It's just absolutely bonkers.
Yeah.
It's like I always loved when I was a kid like choose your own adventure books.
Yeah.
And like I'd love to put like like post-it notes in and go back and then try to like see the different endings and see how it could have played out differently. And this game has that, but it's so massive and there's so much crazy variation that, especially from like when you work on video games, you're like, how did they do all this? Like there's so many extra things that just keeping track of everything that could happen and where it would all go feels like it would be a lot. Oh, and the androids are right in the back of the bus.
Yep. Yeah.
It's a little heavy-handed.
Yeah, that's what I've heard. I don't know. I guess I'll see. I'm about 50-50 on Quantum Dream games. Typically, it's like I loved Heavy Rain.
Didn't like Beyond.
No.
Yeah, see, I didn't really like Beyond either. Like Beyond was okay. Like it was just not my favorite. Like I really liked Heavy Rain, and then Beyond didn't do it. I love Fahrenheit.
I think really what it comes down to is like when they start to go into like supernatural shit, then it's like they start to lose me a little bit. Whereas this, at least from the outside, seems fairly grounded, and that's what I liked about Heavy Rain was that even though it's basically there wasn't any mysticism or aliens or anything like that involved.
Mm-hmm.
I recognize this part too.
Yeah. So Remaster says I'll share my thoughts. In fact, I'm writing a review on the game. Like, so Remaster, is someone actually paying you to write a review on the game? Is this like for your Tumblr, your Facebook wall? What's going on? We also have a bunch of new followers. Detroit Become Gamer, Wash a Window, Dak Des Zeke, New Triplets, and Tsunami Pepper. Thank you all for the follows. How did you get into video games?
I grew up playing a fair amount. Like, the first game system I remember us having was the Atari 2600, but, that was just mostly me watching my older brother play. The first one that the first one that, like, I started to actually play games a bit on my own was when we got the PlayStation. The first game I got for that was Abe's Odyssey. Love that game. I love all the Oddworld games.
I know, man. Me too.
I'm kind of they now like I got the. Did you play the New and Tasty?
No.
That was like a remake, like ground up kind of remake of Abe's Odyssey.
Mm-hmm.
And they're working on an Abe's Exodus one. It's the same thing. It's called Soulstorm, I think.
What's your favorite Oddworld game?
I think Abe's Exodus was my favorite because, I sometimes try and temper, like, with sequels where it's like, you never have that experience of playing that new thing for the first time. But, sometimes they take the bits and iterate, and I think it was, I like the mechanics that they added in the second one. But yeah, it was still always just kind of a hobby up till then, and then I played Metal Gear Solid, the first one, and that's kind of what made me decide that I wanted to at least be in digital entertainment of some sort, because that was the first time I cared about pixels and stuff, and I was like, okay, this is a cool way of storytelling, and in spite of all some of the melodrama, it's really odd. It's not usually my kind of game, like the Metal Gear Solid type storytelling, but just it gets me. I don't know. Nice.
I'm scrubbing my touchpad to clean my dishes. It kind of almost feels as abrasive as a touchpad does.
Yeah.
So then, okay, you decide you want to do it. So then, how did you end up? How did you end up in your current line of game development?
So back then it was like, all right, I want to be a game designer, but then I figured out that what I actually wanted to do, I just didn't know how to articulate it. Was I want to be an animator? So I went to. But then, I got some 3D programs, started animating a bit, and I was like, I actually like modeling more than animating. I think when I said animator, I meant modeling. So I went to school, Savannah College of Art and Design. I don't know.
Yeah, it's great.
There are like a lot of people here. Like at the studio who went there. So any scatties out there on the stream, but once I got there, I was always kind of fairly tech savvy as one of the modeling types, and rigging can sometimes be like it's kind of like modeling character art, but it involves actually having it be in motion and stuff. So someone was like, "Hey, you might actually like rigging." So I took a class and I liked it. And I'm sort of fortunate in that it's one of those jobs that a lot of people don't like. So then or just like can't quite do well. So it just makes it a little bit easier to get a job. So so I went to grad school.
Where'd you go to grad school?
Carnegie Mellon in
Okay.
Pittsburgh.
Nice.
So right out of there, I interned at 2K Marin. Rest in peace.
What game were you working on there, or was it it wasn't announced?
It was. It was the unfortunate XCOM game, the Bureau of XCOM Declassified.
Oh man,
Which,
that game.
I remember that
sort
of dead in the water from the get go, because it's like I understand it's you remake a cult classic. It's it's very uphill.
I remember that game. Like I remember seeing that when they showed it at E3, and like it had or announced it at E3. I was like, this has potential, but it just has a name that means something else. Unfortunately, it was the real issue.
Yeah, and I think that's the thing is like if they dropped the name and then just made it kind of from the makers of BioShock 2 is this other kind of because I think certain it was hard for people to get even on board with BioShock 2 because it was a different studio making the sequel to such a classic. So kind of starting in a new thing where it's like could be a similar sort of vintage feel, and because in the beginning I think it was meant to be kind of a you're more of like a detective cleaning up and trying to like stop public panic and all that, but still it's like it's not quite XCOM, but it was still interesting. But then once I got there, it made a lot of changes.
I love how she's like playing with the vacuum cleaner.
Mm-hmm.
It's such a great little.
It's tough to do kids, like in CG.
Yeah, and then not only to do kids, but then do it for like a whole, game, essentially, because Alice is sort of the responsibility of Kara as the game goes on.
Yeah, especially if you're trying to go like realistic. Like Walking Dead did it very well with Clementine, but they had
what is
the
that?
stylization that they could work with.
Is that a new free? Oh, it must be a new freeware or something. Interesting. I didn't notice that the first time I played the game. That's cool. Like, cool.
She comments on it?
I didn't see anything. She's probably an Android. She doesn't care. She's like, I'm an Android. Okay, you gotta like. Sometimes it's like, okay, I want to pick up the laundry, but I need my basket first. This whole sequence made me want an Android for home use. Like, you imagine that'd be so great. Like, gets you a beer, cleans everything up, does the laundry, runs the vacuum.
Yeah, I can definitely. Anyone who's seen my apartment knows I could use one. So.
No kidding. Like, it would just be the best. It'd be the best. Like, I don't really think I need one full time. Like, I could share one with my neighbors. We could all chip in to buy one.
It's like a timeshare, but for
a timeshare Android. 1 day a week, just come over, clean everything up, or maybe just a couple hours a day. Everyone, a couple hours a day at everybody's house.
Yeah.
Be a little weird if they're walking around in the middle of the night though, like doing stuff.
Yeah.
Wake up and you hear someone walking around. No, it's just
Just put them in the closet or something, like like a vacuum cleaner or something. I don't know. Have you ever seen that? The Black Mirror. It's like it was Black Mirror in one of the first seasons, with the one with Donald Gleason, where I guess I don't know. Would that be spoiler territory? It came out a couple years ago.
Nah, I think it's past spoiler territory.
It's
Oh! You found his drug stash. I like how she's blinking red, like woo.
Yeah.
Now we're starting to understand why she was in for repairs in the first place.
Yeah.
Lincolnito said he finished the game yesterday. What a ride it was.
So I guess in the beginning when you were in the shop, you weren't playing as her. You were just someone else because I noticed he walked up and started talking.
You were actually her. You were just looking around.
Okay.
You didn't really get to do anything beyond look around, like because he was essentially picking her up for after repairs.
Okay.
They made repairs, and he said she got hit by a car.
Yeah.
Hit by a car.
Yeah.
Actually, it was interesting. I didn't know this. They had 3 composers for this game. There's a different composer for each main character,
Huh.
which is kind of interesting. I did not. That didn't come through for me though. Obviously, they're each stylistically. I see David Cage believes TVs will be curved in the future. And, no, bad.
I still have an LCD, so I'm behind times.
You don't need a curved TV. And they like this cast.
Yeah.
You don't
Yeah.
need to. It's flat is fine.
If you have like a wide area where you want people to be able to watch,
Yeah.
exclude some people.
Yeah, curves. Yeah, flat's fine. Everyone can see
Yeah.
flat. Flat's good.
Yeah.
Oh, now we gotta look more chores, everybody.
What I'd like is like the bend. Like I remember seeing stuff where it's like bendable, so you could like roll it up and like a poster
Oh,
too.
now that'll be
Yeah.
that. Now that yes.
So then it can be curved, and then you can.
You can have the flat OLED.
put it in party mode. And,
I love how there's just
button it up.
potato chips laying out and like booze bottles.
Yeah.
Like who leaves open
Let's-
potato chips? Roll the bag up, man.
Yeah.
Like even the slob should roll the bag up because you want your potato chips to stay crisp.
Yeah. Well, it's like the Cinema Sins thing. Do you ever watch them?
No.
Do you know Cinema Sins?
No, I actually don't.
It's like they go through entire movies and just like kind of super nitpick, and it's kind of a snarky thing. They're a little bit controversial because a lot of people tend to think that they're just anti-movies and stuff, and it's more them like they're like playing a character in that, where it's like someone kind of nitpicky, but they have like some sort of recurring jokes where they go through movies, and there's one where it's always like they show a kid's bedroom where they have like 5 posters of like the Giants and a bunch of Giants cards on the table, and it's like this kid's bedroom is an orgy of evidence that he's a fan of the Giants. So it's like sometimes feels a little bit staged. What does it say?
That's, yeah. Is it like that sequence? They blur what she just read.
Yeah. Is it like a story spoiler?
It is.
Okay.
It is. It's like a key revelatory moment in the story of the game. Oh, we have to clean the bathroom.
Ugh.
Gross. And he was just in there.
It's so boring being indentured.
They don't really give us too
servant
much.
robot
Like
slave.
it's like of all the stuff that they make that you do in David Cage games, it's like we don't really want to see you clean the bathroom.
Yeah.
Like we don't really want to see you like have to
Yeah,
clean
yeah, I
the
guess-
toilet
yeah,
for that
they're-
long.
they're
We're just
the
gonna skip
aspects-
past that.
Yeah, they're the aspects of heavy rain in the beginning when you have to, quick time events to towel yourself off, and So I suppose it's peak Cage at the beginning. You gotta start out with that.
You gotta see the monotony of a robot.
Yeah.
They did make the bathrooms. Oh, I gotta scrub.
Yeah.
Gotta scrub with the touchpad.
See, I tried doing that on my floor once. Didn't work.
Scrubbing.
Just so I bent down and did that with my fingers. Just didn't work.
Yeah, no. I think putting 2 fingers on it made it not work as well. Remaster Resistance asks if Corey's doing nothing as usual. Corey's not even in the room. There's no one at the desk. There's no one to moderate your comments except for the bot. I don't know if I should tell
Slapdash
you all
operation.
that. Yeah. Corey is finishing some E3 stuff for June 11th and that whole week. So we just was like, he could sit in here and hang out, or he could spend an hour working on that. He's going to work on that right now. Yeah. Remastered said something that's amazing about this game I've never experienced. After my second playthrough, he still wanted to play through it all over again. I definitely wanted to go see some of the different scenes. Some of it I'm just going to watch on YouTube to see what people, what different things you could do.
I do that a lot with games lately.
Yeah, just use YouTube videos.
Yeah, because it's just I don't know. Since I became a pro, it's like I just sometimes just don't have the time and drive. And I played. I beat God of War.
What do you think of God of War?
I liked it. It's definitely fun. There are certain things that I miss. The sort of epicness, and like I realized it was a conscious decision. So it's like that aspect of it maybe isn't for me, but I still very much enjoyed it. It's took me a while to get used to the combat using the shoulder buttons, and then also having to control the camera. I sometimes ran out of fingers.
Do you know you could switch it to the classic God of War controls?
Really?
Yeah, so you can like switch back to the classic face button combat.
Too late.
Well, too late. Yeah, I mean, I didn't do it, but
now if I go back and play like God of War 3,
you'll be like, why can't I use the shoulders?
Yeah.
No, apparently I said something wrong.
Uh-oh.
Oh, but we're warm.
Okay.
So
warm, like
like you warm, and then you get to friendly, and then you get to close, or there's various levels of.
Okay. That is not a very effective key. If you actually just look at the tooth, it's like one tooth down.
It's just for her treasures.
Yep.
Jivo Art says I've replayed certain chapters 6 or 7 times and it's never gotten boring. Ricky Jedi says any touchpad features for Spider-Man. Wouldn't you like to know? And Remaster Resistance, of course, wants Resistance 4. I thought you wanted a remaster. I didn't think you wanted a new one. Jeez, dude.
His name should be Resistance 4, please.
Yeah, that's what it should be.
Make Resistance 4.
We talk about how she looks just like Jennifer Lawrence and barely resembles her character model. Who? What?
I remembered seeing some of the earlier promotional images where it's it's kind of similar to the Ellie and Ellen Page kind of thing where I hear that they actually adjusted a bit.
Daddy broke the robot. Oh dear. By befriending her, we found out that secret. Well, time to go get.
I guess this at least helps, helps with setting up the seeing the other stuff, right? Because you can restart at certain points with that flowchart. Or
I don't know if you can actually. I never rewound during mine, so I never actually went back. Though I do want to. I may go back and refinish the end so that I fix one accidental character death where I made a decision I didn't think was going to get someone killed and it did. Yeah. And I was just like, oh, this is not. That was not what I intended. Yeah. That was not what I intended.
That's sometimes another nice thing about watching just Let's Plays is you can. If you're feeling lazy about it, you can just watch all the endings. Like the secret Far Cry 5 ending. Have you heard about that one?
No.
It's basically I don't think it's much of a spoiler because it's right in the beginning. You go, you kind of drop in.
Yeah, and you walk through the whole.
If you don't put the cuffs on him, on Joseph, the preacher guy. You just walk away and it rolls the credits. Oh, you're just like, let's get out of here. Gotta get out of here because
that's funny.
It starts to get hot.
We did put we only put the cuffs on him when we did it.
Yeah.
So it didn't matter. Mm-hmm. But that is funny. I was wondering what would happen if you didn't do it. There's definitely certain things happen if you take inaction.
Yeah.
No, he didn't kill another robot. He beat up Kara. So.
And the result is you finished. Oh.
Yeah. So.
Okay, I guess it escalates later.
Yeah. So the yellow, the yellow things are stuff that could matter in the future. Okay. So seeing a way down and having a gun. Okay. And both are important factors.
I was thinking that there was a way to just avoid that whole Paris Games Week thing where it's
oh no,
you just avoid all of it if you just finish the damn cleaning.
Yeah, if you just do your chores, nothing bad would happen.
Exactly.
Nothing bad will ever happen as long as you get the chores done. But if you slip up in those chores, there are a couple sequences like that where it's if you find you have to handle all of these things.
If you keep your head out and be a good android, then there's no drama in the game.
Looking himself in the mirror. Put the paints. Now we're gonna go. Oh, we're home. Take care of Carl. Yeah, kid from Walking Dead. He's a pain. No, but the first little.
What was the dot 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 dot?
Oh, it's like future. Those are like things
okay.
you have unlocked, next objectives.
Right.
But the first thing you notice is there's like one of those chair things to take a wheelchair up and down the stairs, which is kind of like, I do like that little touch. I don't know if a lot of people notice it, but
It's one of those things you feel rewarded when you do.
yeah, and I mean it had to be there because you're dealing with a guy who's in a wheelchair, but it's just cool that you have that moment of getting to see it and be like, oh, well, that's kind of interesting. Follow my programming on Kara's next mission. It says, I don't know. I'm gonna follow. I want to play. I do want to play the game. I kind of want to play the game again, but be Connor and just be like absolute Blade Runner Connor, like no mercy, no chance of flipping sides, just kill everything in his path to do what he has to do. And that's, I kind of want to play the game like that and see like what those scenes would all be like with Connor being himself. Show me your arm, Carl. No. This guy, I don't know this guy's name, but I know he's an actor I've seen on stuff too.
Yeah. Yeah, I guess they don't pull from, like, I remember back when I played L.A. Noire, it was like, it was basically the Mad Men cast, and so you could immediately just like spot them.
Right.
But yeah, I guess in this case they pull from a few.
Yeah, there's a bunch of, they're not, maybe not anyone quite as famous. I mean, he's almost, I guess, as famous as like some of the L.A. Noire cast was, but Minka Kelly was kind of hot. I mean, not like in terms of her career was hot. Yes, her stock was high career-wise 5, 6, 7 years ago when Friday Night Lights was still bigger and she was dating Derek Jeter and all that stuff. And I don't know if she's quite as relevant now as she was back then. But and the guy who plays Carl is another character actor you've seen in a ton of stuff, even though I have no idea what the actor's name is.
Well, I guess it's in the case of can you? This is fucked up, but can you drop him? Oh boy.
That was messed up. That was messed up. But see, if I drop the controller,
I feel a little bit of shame now. I'm sorry.
Can you drop him?
I'm sorry.
Come on, David
I'm
Cage.
sorry,
We
Mom
want
and
to
Dad.
drop
I'm
him.
sorry.
We want to drop the old man on the way to the bathroom. Lance Hendrickson. There you go.
I'm sorry for setting such a bad example.
Yes, he is.
For the Alzheimer name.
Oh, that is so funny. And once again, we missed the whole bathroom scene. Like, come on! Like, give it. Like, David Cage will show us like abuse and alcoholism, but he won't show us the bathroom. That's all right. Just saying, we got this far. You'd think he would have a motorized wheelchair, though. That's my only.
Yeah.
Like, come on, where's it? Like, shouldn't they have like a really sleek motorized wheelchair that the guy can control with his brain or like his iPad?
So it takes some core strength to do that.
Yeah, some of those. Sometimes
he's a
the.
robot.
Yeah.
I mean, that's super tricky thing to do because that's actually one thing that bothered me a bit about God of War was like the boat mechanics, but it was basically as kind of like it was a little bit tough to turn, but I mean you can't turn on a dime on a boat.
Well, sometimes when you're turning and the camera change happens, you're like, oh god, what?
It's always it's always a tough balance to strike between fun and realism at times with certain things. So, similar to this, like I've recently been playing the Shadow of the Colossus
remaster.
finally.
Yeah.
And I remember at the time, I loved the fact that riding Agro, the horse, like it felt like riding a horse. It didn't feel like in most games it's like you are the horse, whereas in the case of Shadow of the Colossus, it's like you actually are a person trying to control this kind of unruly, not very intelligent animal. So. But now that I'm playing it again, I'm just too impatient millennial nowadays.
Yeah, it's like
Yeah.
Let's go.
Yeah.
I want good controls.
Yep.
Fergie says you really want to see the bathroom action. It's not that I want to see the I don't need like explicit bathroom action. I just wish like you do everything else, So like I would love like you could still have it be tasteful camera direction, so you don't necessarily see things. It just feels very jarring to me that it's like, oh well, you're in control of everything, but once they go in there, like, well, you're not. We're not gonna like show her just like impassively scrubbing the. I don't know. Maybe I'm probably wrong. I know they thought it through, but it's like, man, shouldn't I have to like go like this and you just see her face impassively like scrubbing into the toilet? You could put the camera down in the toilet or something even. I don't know. I'm just saying. That's all. Never mind. It's the only time though where it's like something like takes you out of control of the character, then suddenly the character's back in your control, and you're like, well, I've been doing all these other menial tasks.
You can do a DDC advocacy talk, about that.
Find something to do. There's lots of different options here.
Oh yeah. I remember seeing this. It's like it's kind of a cool thing. I don't know, I'm actually curious story wise. How. I'd say from seeing the trailers and stuff, I'm most interested in his story arc. And possibly being. Yeah, I guess. Disclosure to everyone, I haven't played this like at all, and I've been on a bit of a blackout about it.
And we're not even spoiling anything new for you, really.
Yeah. But his character has always seemed like the most, the one with the most potential. Because he starts out in this very sort of sympathetic household. So I'm curious to see like what happens to make him, basically become like an activist. Because it seems like there must be some sort of turning point for him. So I'm curious what it is.
Oh, I actually still had to keep playing with the touchpad the whole time.
How?
I think you're just tapping the touchpad.
Because So is that what music notation's gonna look like in the future?
I guess so. This is the new music notation.
Yeah.
It's the Android music notation.
Yeah.
This is the piano rolls of.
Yeah.
Oh, is he playing Kara's theme? Interesting.
Oh.
That's kind of fun.
Yeah, I wonder if it was tough to, since they worked with 3 composers, if it was tough to, keep things unified. But I guess, people would also question that about game making, so I suppose we have a tendency to get by with having, this many people working on a project. Keeping things cohesive.
I think I basically control the tempo, too, with how fast I touch it.
If you do like super slow, it'll be like the sad walking away song. Part of me wishes that there was something.
All right, I'm done playing the piano. Oh, he's watching. Creepy.
Something's changed in the way you play. Sometimes I think you have more than you think.
Just keep tapping it consistently.
See, I've always felt oddly awkward watching people play music. Like I grew up in a fairly artistic family, and we'd always go to like concerts and like theater and stuff. And I'm always fine with theater and musical theater, but I've never really enjoyed going to like orchestral concerts and stuff where it's just
So like a rock concert, rock band's
well,
fine.
it's like certain parts of that. It's more of like a visual show. I think it's just when
it's
just
like people just
purely
sitting there
purely
playing
the
a
music.
piano.
Yeah. Or it's like I did something with a buddy of mine. Like a bunch of us for his birthday went to this. It's like a mini sort of salt room, and it's like a concert with like they had like 3 independent artists, and we just kind of sat there in this like salt room and drank wine and watched them. And it was kind of fun, but part of me was like crawling in my skin a little bit.
Not like
just certain. It's a weird quirk where it's just I feel awkward.
Yeah, that is a little.
Remove the sheet.
Okay, I'll take the cheat off for you. I love how he has not just androids, but giant robotic arm.
Yeah. It's odd that he, kept it covered up. Although I guess maybe, light exposure or something. It's like, if you go to a lot of like museums in Europe, they'll with some of the areas with the older paintings, they'll keep them in the dark.
For sure. UV destroys stuff like and now to be fair, like a lot of current printing is pretty crappy, like on crappy inks, crappy paper, so it UV fades really, really fast.
Yeah.
But like you even see like some people like packaging of like the Ratchet and Clank vinyls that people have had sitting up against a window, and then they turn it, it's just completely faded out in just a few years of getting hit by the sun every day.
Yeah.
Yeah, UV will wipe stuff out super, super fast. You have to be really careful about artwork and anything of value if you don't have protection on it and the sun hits it every day.
Yeah. No, I think like there's a museum in it's either the one in Amsterdam or the one in or one of the ones in Florence that I went to, where it's like in a very dark room. They even dim the lights and everything.
Mm-hmm.
It's like you kind of have to squint to see some of the paintings.
Yeah, and some of the UV glass that's on stuff, like, you know, and in the bigger art museums or the masterpieces is just like, you know, it's like just an insane amount of glass. And then they, you know, the nice thing actually, when everyone had those fluorescent bulbs that like wrapped around, those things spit out tons of UV and will wipe stuff out. But now like all these LED bulbs don't actually have any UV in them, so museums can use these LED light bulbs and it won't affect the artwork at all long term versus some of the other ones.
Yeah.
Duckstro says hello to everybody. Hi, Duckstro. Carl really likes the color blue. Should I like it, don't like it, or no opinion? What do you think?
I like it.
You like it?
Yeah.
There is something about it.
I think how he's like it is, there is something about it.
I can't.
Something I can't quite define. Harry Nord, thanks for hosting us.
Truth is, I have nothing.
And Joseph2411, thanks for the follow.
If you've ever seen that episode, thinking it's of The Office, where it's like, oh no, it's Parks and Rec, where Aziz Ansari's character is like, there's like an abstract art piece, and it's like, no, it's making me feel feelings, and it's like, you know, he doesn't know how to describe it, and he tries to get other stuff from that same artist, and it just doesn't hit that same spot.
You're right.
Anything you want.
The Doctor Who. He's such the Doctor Who. He has two definite articles in front of his name. Alright. Now he's making the ender.
Maybe I could split it into two lines, so like so at the end it was the like I tend to do that a lot. Or you know, you see those things on Facebook where it's like something written out and it's like you didn't notice that you said that this word was written twice in a row.
Okay, what should we paint? Should we paint the statue, the desk, or should we just copy Carl's painting? Also, which one do you think was the most popular option?
Well, I guess I'm curious to see what will come of copying.
I know, that's what I really want to see. I want to...
Yeah,
are we ready for E3? Getting there. One is never, ever truly ready for E3. E3 just happens to them at a certain point, whether they're ready or not.
It's a big fever dream of late nights. And
That is a perfect copy. But it's just a reality, yeah. Oh, yeah, see, he doesn't... Fallout 76. Amazing Spider-Man brings it up. Thoughts on it?
I love the trolliness of just like having the stream all day where like nothing was happening. Were you following that?
Yeah. Yeah, Fallout 76. I love Fallout. I'm curious to see more. I don't know. It's going to be great. It's probably going to be different.
It's vague, like what it is.
It's obviously going to be different from the other Fallout games because they're calling it 76, not...
Well, I think the idea of it is they've opened up Vault 76, which is
like early. It was the first. That's the first vault. So like everything's just wasted and there's no civilization at all. You're going to be creating that civilization. Yeah, like
I like the potential of it.
Yeah, that'll be cool. Warriors or Cavs? I don't know if you follow basketball. Corey, if he was here, he would talk about the game last night.
I'm from Ohio, so I'm duty bound.
Yeah.
Even though actually, like, I think, like, I'm halfway. I sometimes tend to be halfway loyal to local teams, but for the most part, with Ohio teams, for some reason, I tend to ditch them. But with the Cavs, they're.
It was brutal. It was brutal last night.
Yeah, I sort of saw the aftermath of that.
Oh, just if you didn't watch it at home, basically, at a sequence where a player there's a free throw to win the game, the score is tied. The player believed that they missed the free throw, but the Cavs rebounded their own free throw. but the guy thought they were in the lead, and so instead of just immediately putting it back in, which probably
Tried to run
wins
out
the
the
game,
clock.
he tried to run away, dribbling the ball to run the clock out, forcing them into overtime where they got shellacked. And, like, the Cavaliers are not the favorites in this series by any means, so, like, you know, when you have that opportunity to steal a win on the road in Game 1, you really have to do it. And instead, he takes the ball and runs away with it. And LeBron James is, like, chasing after him, like, what are you doing? What are you doing? The clock's running
face,
out.
man, is like, yeah.
And it's turned into a meme on the internet.
I think my favorite one that I saw, actually, I retweeted it, but it's basically just Doctor Strange from Infinity War. He's like doing the thinking thing, and it's like J.R. Smith went through 76 million possible outcomes, and this was the only way.
Yeah, this is the only way. It's the only way. It's the
And
only way we win
yeah.
the series is if I do this, man.
One of the comments was, "Sorry, Bron, it was the only way."
It's like when you almost have the Infinity Gauntlet off.
Yeah.
So close.
Well, then, yeah, there are lots of other
So there's so many great memes.
Star-Lord and J.R. Smith matchups, too.
Yeah.
You'd rather take
Yeah. We'll see. We'll see if they can turn it around. But yeah, definitely it was a bit of a gut punch.
Yeah, that was rough. That was rough. I that's one of those where you
Yeah.
just
They immediately
snatching.
collapsed in overtime too.
Yeah, that was bad.
So,
Yeah, it was just
that-
over. It was
That just that spent it for them.
yeah. LeBron has been like willing that team to success, and it's been incredible to see. And it was just a brutal thing.
You've never loved anyone. You never loved me, Dad.
Where are you from?
I'm from Nebraska,
Oh,
so I'm more of a football person myself.
right.
I am going to go to the Nebraska-Ohio State game this year. So I'll be going to Columbus for that.
I always hear that like during Huskers games, where is Nebraska University? Is it
Lincoln.
Yeah, like Lincoln becomes the biggest city in.
No, so it's the stadium becomes the third biggest city in the state,
Oh, okay.
which I think might still be true. It may not be fourth, because I think there might be another town that's grown beyond the stadium. But yeah, Lincoln is the second biggest. It's about 250,000 people, and Omaha has about 1 million people in the metro area, and then the rest of the state has about 1 million.
It's the only city I've been to.
Omaha.
Yeah.
Yeah. Omaha's a good place.
I drove. It's actually when I was moving out to LA to work here.
Oh, you drove the wrong way.
Yeah, I stayed the night in Alabama.
Oh, nice. Yeah, nice.
Or,
Omaha.
Omaha. Jesus.
No dogs, no androids.
Yeah.
You know, the note it just makes me sad.
Well, yeah. I was saying I grew up in Saudi Arabia, and there's some questionable things that still go on there, and the one thing is that there are family sections and men's sections in a lot of restaurants there. And so, like, sometimes in the men's section, like, one time there was a sign that says, no women or dogs allowed.
That's
Yeah.
this. They make you walk past him before you can get a look at his face. Maybe not actually.
Oh, okay. This guy. The guy from, I guess, he's the guy from Shawshank.
Oh yes,
The
that's
guard.
yes. Yes, he is. The face, the shaved face gives that away. Like I couldn't
Yeah.
place it. I couldn't
Yeah.
remember that shaved face thing.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's
Is he another, like, Darabont flicks? I'm trying to,
Maybe.
I feel like he was in Green Mile, too, but
Yeah,
I don't
probably.
Actually, I've seen Shawshank way more than Green Mile.
SpongeBob, the guy from SpongeBob.
There you go.
Was it Darabont that had the Indiana Jones 4 script that got leaked at some point?
Yeah, I heard.
Yeah, it was. I remember reading it. It was great. I thought it was.
I'm actually kind of woefully behind on Indiana Jones. Like, I've only seen Raiders.
Wow.
I have a few holes in my
You got
zip
it.
file.
Temple of Doom, whatever you do. You should watch Last Crusade. Really, you only need to watch Last Crusade.
Yeah. Basically, what it comes down to is I really started getting more into film during college. So I didn't really grow up with there are a lot of older ones. Like I'm actually I'm gonna be going to Morocco in July, and a few people have been like, "Oh, go to Casablanca." It's like I've never actually seen the movie. Yeah,
Like Casablanca is I don't know if Casablanca is actually supposed to be like the best place to go. Really, it's kind
I've actually heard it's a bit boring.
yeah.
So I was
It's
actually
like
thinking
everyone
going
wants to go because of the
Rabat
movie,
instead.
but it's
Yeah.
actually not really. I do love Morocco.
Yeah.
I've only spent a few days there, but it's really really cool. I got up into the mountains to this little town called Chefchaouen,
Yeah.
and then it was a pretty chill place and amazingly cheap and just it was really nice. So it was cool. I'd love to go back at some point. How long are you going to stay in Morocco for?
It's about like I'm gonna spend about a week in Spain and about a week in Morocco.
Nice.
Just
So you take the ferry across,
uh,
or are you gonna fly?
no, yeah, I was thinking of doing that, but since it's a fairly short trip, I just looked at flight prices and I found one for like about $100 from
It's
Barcelona
probably
to
cheaper than
to Fez. So I was
Yeah.
planning on going to Fez anyways.
makes sense. Yeah, I did the ferry thing on a long backpacking tour, and like the ferry's fine. It
Yeah.
only takes a couple hours,
I've
but
taken,
you have to
you know-
get to the coast. You have to get on there. The crazy part though is trying to cross. Like you get into French Morocco, and then you have to go
Yeah.
to actual like Morocco, and crossing that border on
Yeah.
foot is pretty intense.
I was considering a ferry from Barcelona to Tangier.
Oh, okay.
And that was like a 30-hour one.
Oh, that's a lot longer than
Yeah.
than going from
Yeah.
like Gibraltar area.
Yeah. But then getting down to
And then you have to
Gibraltar,
then get
it's
to-
like it's
yeah,
like
yeah.
since it's again a short trip. I was like
You don't want to spend
I've
a
always
day on a
had
boat.
I've always had a bit of a bad habit in the past with trips where I try and just do too much and don't spend enough time anywhere in
Yeah.
any one place. So I'm trying to force myself to.
Smell the roses a little.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, I totally agree with that. If you ever travel out overseas, like I always like to try and spend at least 2 nights in any particular city, just so you have a little time to like
Yeah.
hit the cadence of the city. Feel it at night, feel it in the morning. Like
Yeah.
I enjoy it. I don't always get to do that, especially when it's going to come to like doing press and that sort of stuff. But when I can, I love getting to spend time. This is probably the most grotesque crime scene in the game. Actually, I think it's pretty. It did clear up, by the way, like 10 minutes into the stream.
Okay.
Yeah, so
It's
we
because
just-
you left. So,
we are to our
was
favorite character in the game, or the fan favorite, drunk, depressed police detective, and I guess I can actually start investigating while we hear this briefing.
it's kind of funny, like Heavy Rain was kind of sort of video game. Felt like a video game version of like maybe like 7 or somewhere between 7 and Saw,
Mm-hmm.
and it's kind of call back to that. Where it kind of looks like a 7 crime scene.
Yeah.
Message on the wall and all that.
No fingerprints.
Ooh.
Ooh. I like how in this world no fingerprints means.
Yeah.
I like also how he
Automatically.
licks blood and stuff to like analyze it, which is my favorite thing. At one point later, Hank sees that and he's like, "Oh, Connor, gross! Like, what are you doing, dude?"
Yeah. There's I don't know if you remember back in the day, Conan O'Brien, when he was on NBC, he did the Walk with Texas Ranger clips. He had like a little lever. Basically, when NBC bought USA, he's like, and because of that, I can now show Walk with Texas Ranger clips for free. And there's one where like Chuck Norris like stops, he like eats some dirt. It's like a plane crashed here. That's just it. It was all just like out of context clips from Walker Texas Ranger.
That's really funny. Oh, we know where the murder weapon came from.
So how does he know that it was there before?
Because he saw the knife and now he sees there's an empty slot.
Okay.
I guess is the
Well, it's like during the first one, there's like the kind of playback thing. It's like
which
it's the little pseudoscience thing kind of
Oh.
makes it cool, like the investigation element, but it's also kind of
okay. Well, now we have fingerprints and now we have android blood. Oh, now I love these reconstruction moments, and then sometimes you have to like move the camera around sometimes to see to find what you're supposed to find in it, and then Deviant takes knife. Oh, it's election season in California, so I get weird like text messages, and then like your iPhone will like tell you it's maybe this person because they say their name, and I'm like, oh, maybe who? Well, maybe I know this person. Then I always like, oh no, that's just a political text message saying.
Well, I said I'm from Ohio.
Oh,
It's like
yeah.
it's always any national elections, especially
Oh,
since
yeah.
Ohio is such a swing state. It's like
Oh, for
you just
sure.
get inundated
You get
with
bombed.
yeah.
Signs of a struggle. Okay, we found a lot of evidence.
Looks like the party. Chris, I want full analysis.
I don't know how you read these.
Oh, yeah. This is pure Batman Detective Arkham mode. Yeah, obsessive writing. Yeah, the investigation scenes are kind of fun.
Mm-hmm.
I love the Connor. Like I could almost play a whole like Connor game.
Yeah.
Like I would just like doing the investigations.
Mm-hmm.
I do think this one's maybe a little. They tell you there's like 10 pieces of evidence you can find, and that kind of is a little on the like I would almost like not want to know
Like
if I'm
it's
missing
open-ended.
evidence. Yeah, like I want to know if I don't want to know if I'm missing evidence because that could
Yeah.
drive you to keep searching for a long time. I guess.
And definitely when I'm not like in a hurry, I am the type when playing games to explore every corner and
Right.
stuff.
And I guess in the end I was going to find it all anyway because I'm going to look around and it tags everything in the thing. But
Well, I wonder what that is.
analyze that. That's a
The door was locked from the inside. Killer must have gone out this way.
no footprints.
Well, this happened weeks ago. Tracks could have faded.
No, this type of soil would retain a trace. Nobody's been out here for a long time.
Oh, creepy android deviant didn't go out this way. Is that statue made of poop? Someone said. Actually, I don't know, but maybe it was.
Yeah.
That is kind of gross. I never thought about that till you just said that. I didn't think about what the
It's
statue.
their way of making up for cutting out the poop, the bathroom scenes. It's, you realize later in production, it's like
Yeah.
we have to have some bathroom related stuff.
I am alive.
Blood. Right.
Cyberlife Sans. The
Nice.
fonts matter.
Yeah.
Fonts matter.
One of my favorite trolley T-shirts that I wear sometimes, and I get like legit dirty looks from people. It has Helvetica written in Comic Sans.
Oh, that's funny. That would probably bother Grant Hollis a ton.
I used to wear it a little bit. Like I got it a couple years ago, and like my old art director at my last studio, she'd be like, "I hate you so much right now."
It's such a thing that would just kill an art director.
Yeah.
Like they would just, they couldn't handle it. Oh, there's the first stab wound from the android. Let me follow the camera over here, and
How'd it get all my kitchen?
they came from the kitchen.
Yeah,
So,
'cause, like, over there,
so we now know that he swung the baseball bat. The android grabbed the knife. The android stabbed him.
He was stabbed 28 times.
28 times.
Yeah.
Seems like the killer really had it in for him.
The dead guy looks like John Goodman. I don't think so. Okay, let's talk to our boss.
I think I figured out what happened.
Oh, yeah? Shoot, I'm all ears.
It all started.
Well, it started in the kitchen. We know this.
There are obvious signs of a struggle. The question is, what exactly happened here?
I think the victim attacked the android with the bat.
That lines up with the evidence. Go on.
I wonder if I screwed this up. He probably would just get annoyed. But see, I want Connor to be a badass, so we have to do it right.
Yep. Throw everyone under the bus.
The android stabbed the victim.
So the android was trying to defend itself, right? Okay, then what happened?
The victim fled to the living room.
Yes, that's where we found him dead.
I'm curious with with this, since it's probably, you know, I feel like, you know, Indigo Prophecy was still a bit of a niche one. I think, like, I feel like Heavy Rain maybe really put these guys on the map.
Oh yeah, Heavy Rain was
And then-
gigantic.
Then obviously they probably spent a ton on actors for Beyond. But
Yeah.
I'm curious because one thing that just kind of, you know, made me laugh a little bit when I was playing the original Heavy Rain was the fact that the accents sometimes kind of went all over the place. But
Oh.
you know, these guys are based in Paris, so it's I figured maybe they just got their actors from England. So I'm curious, like whether.
I remember the accents in Heavy Rain were all over the place.
Well, my favorite thing was everyone said origami different. There's the origami killer or the origami killer. And then there's that one dude who you know falsely confesses and he says I'm the origami killer.
I'm the origami killer. I remember that game.
Origami.
Origami. Origami. Oh, we got traces. We got traces. No,
He was there
just
the whole
mops.
time. It was just like,
I like how he's now thinking like it's like processing. I do love the fake out
working.
there. Hold on, let's do this. Examine.
Okay.
Wait, there was
It's
a
like
ladder
it's like
here. Oh, a ladder was used.
Must have been there a really long time.
Oh, there's an attic. There's always something in the attic. So I know you could actually leave without. Hey, what are you doing with the chair? You're missing the crime scene. I know you could actually just leave without finding anything here. But there's like this push-pull mechanic on him because there's like his bosses will get pissed off if he's failing the investigations, even though that's making him more likely to go deviant. So you like, and I guess like you could
Just
have
go
him.
further down the rabbit hole.
Yeah, you could have him fail enough that he's just they're like you're being replaced, and then he's
Yeah.
gone, and he's no longer a part of it. And then there's like a new Connor you don't control who
Okay.
will, I think, something like
Is it
that.
actually another RK800?
I don't know. I assume it is. I haven't seen that, but it's something
You're
like
too
that
good
where
at
they
your job.
they have someone else deal with it for you if you don't do it. Anastasia.
Yep. There you go.
Oh, another fake out. This is the second fake out in a row. I remember being like, oh
Rule-
man,
rule
that's what they're
threes,
gonna do.
man.
There's gonna be a ton of these fake outs, and there's
Yeah.
not really that many actually besides these ones.
The other one's gonna be a pile of like, you know, fruit and stuff, but it's actually, you know, kind of casts a shadow like.
And actually, I think I might have let him live when I played this the first time. Let the android appear. No, I think I took him in. I don't remember. Oh, here it comes. I know you're up here. Where are you hiding? Located.
Yeah, it's the guy who sung in one of the trailers.
Is one of the what?
He was singing this song that's oddly been stuck in my head for like the last week or so. That guy.
Interesting. Oh yeah, you actually don't have a choice in this one. That's what it is. You don't have a choice.
I guess I've
Holy
seen
shit.
as like part of the fiction behind the tech, like they kind of have that like blank appearance and then they like project something.
Like
top.
when they have they have like a skin that they wear, but they also can like
'Cause
disappear.
I've seen it like turn into like this white plastic.
Yeah, it's I don't really understand the white plastic moments, like
Yeah.
because
Or
I
it's
think
like
there
a
actually
part
is
of the
like a
face.
skin on them, like, but that's it. So that's all the time we've got for today.
Okay.
But that was a look at the actual full game of Heavy Rain and all the different characters or Heavy Rain. Jesus. We're just talking about that. Oh,
It helps that
Detroit.
there's heavy rain right now.
Yes, there was rain going on.
Yeah.
Detroit become human. I also sometimes want to call it too human because I don't even know.
Yeah.
It's almost E3. I'll be
Detroit.
better after E3.
Heavy Detroit 2 human.
Yeah, heavy Detroit, too human. There you go. So thanks for coming on the show, Noah.
Thanks for
It's great
having
you. Nice to chat with everyone. And we'll be back next week with some more shows. Final week before E3. And I'm sure we'll maybe actually be able to get Corey back on and have a good time. We'll get some Adam C action, and I don't know what we'll play. We'll figure that out either later today or on Monday. But thanks everyone for watching. Thanks to everyone who clicked the follow button. We'll be back Monday at 2 p.m. Pacific on the channel right here. And appreciate all you guys come on. You should check Detroit Become Human. It's out now on PlayStation 4. It's from Quantic Dream, published by Sony, and you can get it right this second by downloading it on PSN or getting it from your favorite game store. It's really fun. You would enjoy checking it out. And that's all we got for today. We'll see you next time on Insomniac Live. Bye.
Bye.